Well, thankfully, it's still good morning. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Priyansh. It was an exciting discussion on innovation. But I think it also touched upon, very, very uniquely, it touched upon some of the very basic building blocks of business. So, we've been talking about technology, we've been talking about customers, we've been talking about the next billion, we've been talking about future. The panel discussion was very much around how do you innovate, so who innovates, what are the kind of tools that you use for innovation. And I think in the middle of this is one of the most important assets that any organization is going to have, and that's your employees. And I think over a period of time, that asset also has become one of your most critical customers, because they are the ones who kind of put rubber to the road. They are the ones who convert ideas into business, and then business eventually into money for you, right? I'd like to start, the whole thing with a little bit of a video. I want to give you a quick insight into how critical, how important employees are, and how important it is to build the right kind of employee experience. I think one of the comments over here, very rightly so, was the impatient generation. I think our video is around almost the same kind of lines. So let's quickly roll the video. It kind of sets the template or sets the tempo for what I want to talk about for the next 10-15 minutes. Yeah.
Success has certain rules. First, you need to think like an animal.
Hi guys, client should be joining us in a minute.
Forget about making friends. You're here to make your mark.
Let's reschedule.
To really go places. Because to be a success, you have to be a business beast.
I'm a total beast.
Never mind.
Thank you. That was a very short video around what possibly can go wrong and what possibly can go right, especially with the employee experience, right? When we talk about employee experience, I think it's very natural for us to talk about how we are going to run our business, what are we going to really do about it. But before we do that, I really want to set the stage in terms of how we talk about and how we really relate to employees of late, right? We've started seeing, especially post-COVID, we've started seeing that employees, especially talented employees, now wield a much wider choice in terms of how they want to work, where they want to work, right? COVID itself completely changed working styles. Hybrid became the new norm. Work from home is a very, very normal thing. Somebody calls up and says, I'm going to work from home. Very, very normal, very, very acceptable thing. In fact, organizations are taking stands to now start shifting employees between on-site, work from home, and as well as hybrid employees, right? And with this work from home, when people are working day in, day out from home, working in their own silos, mental health becomes a very, very critical component, critical aspect, especially when it comes around results, producing the desired kind of results, giving the right kind of productivity. And that brings in a lot of loss in terms of cultural momentum across people, not really employees, right? And that's where it brings in a very, very critical component of employers having a difficult task putting towards or putting together your employee or workforce flexibility into place, right? When companies like HP start talking about employee experience, the most critical thing that we look at is the end state or the end result that we're going to derive out of it, right? What we've realized is that a much, much larger number of employees are going to stick around with the organization when it comes to having a much better employee experience, right? And given the fact that today things are moving away from working in office to hybrid, work from anywhere, work from home, one of the most important connects that you have with your organization is the IT asset that you have in your hand. It could be your tablet, it could be your laptop, it could be your smartphone, it could be any one of these assets, right? And what we are starting to see is that almost every organization that we are talking to at this point of time is really, really putting a lot of focus, putting a lot of, I would say, intent into improving and making better the overall employee experience that we talk about right now. We are obviously an IT company. Our contribution really is going to be more and more from an IT perspective. And our idea is really to build in the right kind of tools, the right kind of building blocks to make it easier for bringing in the right kind of employee experience, right? And that is the reason that we started kind of transforming how we look at our customers servicing their employees, right? And there's a huge change that's coming in over there. One of the bigger things that we're working on these days is the overall end-to-end experience, and that we say from an IT perspective, how we as an IT vendor bring in, or as an IT partner, I would really say, how we bring in the right kind of experience for you, for your IT teams to actually provide the right kind of experience to your employees, right? And it really starts with ensuring that we have the right kind of mindsets in place, especially with respect to the new normal, which is the hybrid workforce or the hybrid way of working, right? And the way we bring it in is three basic pillars for us, right? The first one is collaboration tools, the second is productivity, and the third is bringing in the right kind of intelligence into how IT operates, right? And how we want to do it is really partner with your teams, partner with your organizations to bring in the right kind of experience when it comes to an employee joining till the time the employee really migrates out, probably to newer jobs, better jobs, different organizations, right? How do we really do this? The basic things are to make sure that you have partnerships that allow you to focus on your business, on your work, rather than trying to manage infrastructure. That is where partnerships like HP come into place, because we are the ones who are really going to drive the right kind of infrastructure being brought into place, the right kind of services being brought into place. Few of the building blocks over here is then the way we bring in our services is you bring in the right kind of devices. Onboarding employees is much faster. Devices are customized for your organization. The apps that you want, the browsers that you want, the links that you want, the kind of security that you want, all of this is pre-put into place into a laptop or into a tablet, more of a laptop these days, right? It's really predefined and pre-put into these devices. So when the employee gets these devices, all of this is already on board, right? All of this is already there. They don't have to waste time taking a regular laptop, opening it up, going to ITs, wasting 4 or 5 hours setting it up. The setup is done at our end. We do the setup customized to your requirements and bring in a pre-setup where a pre-setup laptop or a pre-setup device where the employee simply enters their email address, password, and off they go. They're up and running. And imagine the kind of experience that you'll give to an employee in terms of being able to provide all of this. The second is easy redeployment. There's so much of churn of employees, it's very, very critical that assets are not only tracked, they're brought back into the organization. They're kind of reset back to, I would say, the company's factory settings so that it can be then delivered to the next employee whoever is coming. And the critical thing is that it's based on two things, life cycle management and also being able to give I would say to be able to give a device to an employee that has already been used by an employee. Now, the basic thing over here is, imagine joining a company and getting a second-hand laptop. That leaves a very, very bad taste. Millennials, as we see today, are very touchy about these things. They don't want this kind of stuff, right? And this is where HP will bring in services like refurbishment of these devices, where before the actual end of life cycle of the device, it can actually be refurbished internally, made to look brand new, and then be handed over to the next employee, right? Not only financially more sensible, but also from a sustainability perspective, it makes a lot more sense in terms of retaining devices to their full age rather than kind of wasting them off, right? All of this is driven by analytics. How people use, what they use, the kind of applications, the kind of response time, not just I would say analytics around post-dated analytics in terms of what happened and how it happened, but also switching it over to the next level where we bring in proactive insights into the system. What if the battery is going to fail? What if the hard drive is going to fail, right? All of that kind of actionable item, all of that actionable data is pre-built into the system. It's kind of integrated well into your system that helps your IT teams work better, faster, and easier with your employees. And obviously, without moving the eye off the ball, where sustainability really plays a very, very important role, I think that's becoming a key goal for almost all verticals that we see across the industry, not just BFSI. Although I personally see that BFSI is far more I would say, concerned about sustainability, when we're talking about innovation and a lot of other things, all of this is very much driven by the fact that sustainability is really at the core. So how do we really deliver all of this, right? I don't want to get into too many details, but I'm certainly available after the session in case we want to have a deeper discussion around this. But when we start talking about delivering devices as a service, our aim is to be able to make your IT team's jobs simpler, easier, faster, right? The response time is better. Devices are pre-built at HP's factories, customized to how your organization really wants it. Your specific applications are pre-built into the device at a factory stage. Repair services are added on over and above. These repair services can be on-site, they can be delivered online, or they can be delivered to your employees at where they are working, to their homes, to their working sites, right? The entire premise of interacting with the employee is not based just on emotion or just on behavior. It is actually driven by analytics. We deliver these analytics by actually collecting data points from employees' laptops. Again, this is very, very specific, suited to what are the data points you want to pick up. Do you want to pick up data points in terms of how much working is happening? What are the temperatures of the devices when they are working? How long are they working? What's the kind of usage of the memory? What's the kind of the usage of the RAM? If there are certain applications that are slowing down over a period of time, reducing the employee experience. Let's say there's a very core banking application that needs to work, and that application is working very, very slow on a certain set of laptops, right? What are you going to do about it? If you leave it, that leaves a bad taste. People will start looking at excuses for not using the application or making excuses for non-productivity, right? On the other hand, if you can proactively take up this data and reach out to those users and probably add more RAM to their laptops, add more hard drive space to their laptops, it's definitely going to make the overall experience a lot more better, right? We bring in financing as part of the overall services over here, and then make the entire end-to-end package as a device as a service, right? Now, when we start talking devices, it's not just the laptops, the desktops, or the AIOs that we look at. We're also looking at the print fleet that comes as part of your office premises, right? One of the things that HP today focuses on is what we call really as the phygital journey that is being enabled by HP, right? The printers and the MFPs are very, very core part of the BFSI office if I really look at it, right? And of late, what HP has been focusing on is bringing in a lot more value by being able to provide an MFP that not just does printing or photocopying or scanning just as it is, but something that integrates with your business applications, right? If there's customer data or if there's customer documents that need to go straight into your core banking system, instead of first scanning that, bringing that to a laptop, and then kind of uploading it manually, it is possible for us to work on an application that works directly off your MFP. You scan those documents at the MFP and put them into the right place, into your ERP or into your application systems, right? This is something that can happen directly today without the interface or without using different PCs or additional systems. And these MFPs can connect directly to your core system applications. They can talk directly to your ERPs. They can talk directly to your banking systems, right? The other thing that we look at is optimizing business processes. Again, this is looking at processes in terms of how they work, what are the breakpoints in the processes, are there manual hindrances in the processes where people are sort of handing over information from one person to another person, trying to automate all of that. Again, these are very, very customized services, so we go through all the processes, the way they work in your organization, consult with the right kind of teams, and then bring out evolved processes in terms of how to make things easier, better, faster within your organization, right? So end-to-end, what we want to really talk about is the partnership that we bring across to your organizations. The focus over here is to make a much lasting and a longer employee experience that is very, very positive for the employee. And this is something that eventually leads to more and more productivity, right? And again, in the backdrop of the fact that not all of your employees are going to be part of the on-site offices. Your entire organization now spans across from the workplace, and a workplace today is not just the physical site where your office is. The workplace is anywhere where the employee works, right? And we provide technology and we provide services wherever your employees' workspaces are to give them the best kind of employee experience, right? So that's all that I want to talk about today. I'm going to be around over here if we need to talk any further on this part of it, but thank you so much.